Welcome to Commander Tunes for the Nitpicking Nerds.
This time we are upgrading Tyler's deck, and we're going to be discarding legendary creatures to the Grandeur ability.
I am your host, Joe Cherries.
And I am your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. It's still a day of the year, so that means it's somebody's birthday today. Happy birthday to everyone whose birthday falls on this exact day. No other birthdays will be wished. That's for later. If you want to support the channel and birthdays, there's a Patreon link in the description.
Head over to patreon.com and support us directly. It's literally the best way to do so. Some other ways to support us indirectly would be to go to our affiliate link in the description below. tcgplayer.com goes to that website. Buy all the Magic cards you were going to buy anyway. Spend $0 extra, and the nerds get a kickback.
And Dragon Shield, the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
In the description, link to the US site or the EU site. Go buy regular sleeves or custom sleeves, and we still get a kickback because you started with the link.
Yes, so getting right into this video, this is Commander Tune-Ups, where we take your patron submitted decks, and under your restrictions, we upgrade that deck. For this deck, there was no price restriction, but we want to win with Grandeur. And if you don't know what the Grandeur ability is, it says if you control a creature with the same name on the battlefield, you can discard this card to get an extra effect.
We're playing Singleton.
Yep, we're playing a Singleton format, meaning we're going to have to jump through lots of hoops to make this one work.
Right, there was so few restrictions that the original deck that I received was Bant, with Rune as the commander of the Hidden Realm, and then I just ended up building an entirely new deck. This deck is blue, black, red, green with Kydel and Vial Smasher, because I guess we'll talk about it later, but I wanted more Grandeurs and I wanted black.
Yes, there's one Grandeur creature for each color we have, and the white one does nothing, so that's why we went with non-white. Usually this is the part where we'd read you the commanders, but instead we're just going to tell you a brief summary. Kydel makes some mana, and Vial Smasher deals some damage, and what really matters about these cards is their color identities. That's about it.
There's no commanders in Magic, I think, that really synergize with Grandeur and let us play 4 of the Grandeur creatures, so we're kind of stuck either way with just some complete nonsense. So the actual commanders we'll get to read in the first place, but the theme of the deck, obviously, it's Grandeur. We are trying to control legendary creatures with the Grandeur ability, copy them, and then end up with the original creature card in our hand so we can discard it over and over to get the Grandeur ability, which in most cases are actually pretty good. They're just almost impossible to get.
Yeah, exactly, because this is a, Singleton format, and Grandeur is definitely an ability not intended for Singleton.
All right, so we've really got 4 commanders, and I'm just going to read you what their Grandeur abilities are, because that's what we're going for. Linessa, her Grandeur ability is target player bounces an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land. So that's backbreaking. If we can repeatedly do it, we can basically take someone out of the game. Coralash's Grandeur ability is go get 2 swamps and put them into play tapped. They can be non-basic swamps, and we have 16 swamps in the deck total, so we have plenty of ammunition. We built the mana base to make Coralash not terrible. Baru says an actual relevant line of text that when forests enter, our creatures get +1/+1. And we have Yavimaya on the deck so that every land can be a forest. But his Grandeur ability is to make an XX worm, where X is our land count. Yep. And then lastly, there's Teryx, who is a 4/3 flying haste, and his Grandeur doubles his power. So theoretically, if we Grandeur 3 times, we have a 32 power creature, and someone's going to die.
Yeah. So none of these are incredibly good, but if we can get our Rube Goldberg machine going, then we can just do this over and over again, and it will result in a win.
First thing we got to do, we got to make this possible. We got to power up Grandeur, and the best way to do that is clones. Clones kind of accomplish a few things because we're going to have to get a Grandeur creature back to our hand and have one in play. So the clone's going to be the one that stays in play, and it just goes ahead and puts the legendary creature, due to the legend rule, in our graveyard where we want it. Then from there we can go get it back. Do we want to kind of list off these clones?
No, because I'll show a couple on screen. They're clones. There's about, 10 to 15 in this deck.
There are 8 clones.
There are only 8 clones?
There are 8 clones.
Okay. Apparently, my mind, that looks like so many more clones than 10.
It is 8. The one that I will mention that is different from the rest is Supplant Form. That one actually goes an extra step because it returns our Grandeur creature and then copies it. So that just does everything we want. It's already in our hand. We can do it right away.
Yeah. So, we have 8 clones in this deck. They come down. They're the exact creature, and all Grandeur creatures are legends. Therefore, that puts the original. We choose to put the original into our graveyard, where we will get it back from.
We still got hoops to jump through. The clone is step 1. There's also Illusionist Bracers and Battle Mages Bracers. We want to equip our clones, not Phantasmal Image, but we want to equip our clones with them so we can double the Grandeur ability. And then this was in the original deck, and Tyler, I'm not going to take this away from you, but Tanio the Moon Sage is here. There's no synergy in the old deck, and there's no synergy with it in the new deck. If you can ultimate it, though, it gives you infinite Grandeurs by itself, and I can't ignore that.
It's pretty silly.
That's just ridiculous. All right, so this is a singleton format. We only have 4 Grandeur guys in our whole deck. So we have to A, get them, and then B, get them back from the graveyard. So how are we going to do that?
Well, it starts with tutoring. It's pretty simple. Demonic Tutor, Fauna Shaman, these are some very strong tutors in this format. And we're just going to use them to find our Grandeur creatures, because if we want to start this loop, it starts with getting the Grandeur creatures. You can't do any of this if you don't draw them.
Right, and we don't really care which one we get. You pick the one that's best for you. Whatever one you happen to draw first, also, we'll go with it. We can run with it. So repeatable recursion. We want to discard them and then get them back right away. And we want to do it over and over. So we have Undertaker, the wrestler from WWE. He taps and then pay a mana, you discard a card, and you get a creature back. Boom. Woebearer is a janky fear creature that when it hits, you get a creature back. Someone's probably not going to have blocks, and we just need this to be a once per turn type thing. Sword of Light and Shadow gives evasion, and once per turn, it'll get back a thing, so it gives us extra Grandeur hits. But the real like dynamic duo, best cards in the deck probably, Phyrexian Reclamation, 1 in a black, you just get a creature back. So it's 1 in a black, Grandeur, repeatedly, and you just lose 2 life. Tortured Existence is a little different. It's pay a black, discard a creature, get back your Grandeur guy, Grandeur, then you can just keep doing it for every creature in your hand.
And all those are the repeatable ways to get stuff back. We do have single ways, like to use one time. We have Eternal Witness, classic. Everyone knows the Eternal Witness, baby. Skullwinder, which lets you and an opponent do it. Regrowth, I mean, literally, this is when people say they want to get something back from the graveyard, they say it's a regrowth ability. Regrowth. Belligan Recovery is a regrowth ability.
Even better.
It's even better, yeah. It's a land, usually. Deadly Brew. What is Deadly Brew?
Deadly Brew from Strixhaven? Everybody sacks a creature, and if you sack one this way, you can return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, yes, Deadly Brew.
Deadly Brew. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is a Deadly Brew.
This is a Deadly Brew. Edgar's Awakening is the last one. If you discard it, you can get it back from the graveyard, which, actually, we're moving into it right now. We have this tiny discard sub theme.
Yeah, there's a few cards that are going to help us out. We want to be discarding with Grandeur, so I figure we can sprinkle a little bit of bonus in there. We have Archfiend of Ifnir, which is going to shrink opponents' things. We have a few cyclers in here. Whenever we do that, they're just going to get -1/-1 and help us stay ahead on board. Bone Miser's a cute one. Not only does it give you extra zombies when you Grandeur, not like we really need that, but there's discard outlets that we're about to get to that we can use to filter through our deck faster and find the relevant cards. We have Ghostly Pilferer.
Well, hold on. Real question. Every time anyone says Bone Miser, it just makes me think
Heat Miser?
Yeah, the Heat Miser song. So it's like his part is he's Mr. Bone Miser.
Whatever he touches turns to bones.
No, he's Mr. Death.
Oh.
And then doo-doo-doo-doo, and then
whatever he touches turns to bones.
He's Mr. What he would have another Mr. name. And
I'm not invested.
There's a formula, and regardless, move on to Ghostly Pilferer now.
Yeah, Ghostly Pilferer, discard a card, make it unblockable. That's fine. We can repeatedly discard, especially with Bone Miser. It just cycles all our non-creatures. Key to the City, once per turn, make a creature unblockable. We have cards that care about combat damage, especially Terox, too, to actually get kills through. And then Scourge Familiar, that's like one of the other best cards in the deck. Discard a card, add a black. We can go ham sandwich with that.
Yes, I mean, that card is just really, really good and wins the game pretty easily for a lot of decks. Not this one. It wins it in a convoluted way.
Yes, this is true. And now with all these discard outlets, Shadow of the Grave, the Amonkhet special, 1 in a black instant, return all cards from your graveyard to your hand that you discarded or cycled this turn. Not only is it a free roll extra Grandeur when you do it the first time, Grandeur doesn't even sound like a word anymore. Not only is it a double, but anytime you're cycling or Bone Misering or Scourge Familiaring, you can discard your entire hand, add black, and then just get them all back. All right, we got the Grandeurs. We got the ways to do it. We can actually set up turns where we can Grandeur 3, 4, 5 times. So let's get to how we can actually turn this into a win. I kind of like separated it into each different creature because they all do different things. With Corlash, we threw in an Amulet of Vigor, which not only helps our regular tap lands enter untapped, but his swamps that he gets will now enter untapped, meaning if we have Phyrexian Reclamation, pay 2 life, put 2 swamps in play. So we can go pay, 8 life, get all 16 of our swamps out right now, and then untap and have just an insane turn.
The question is, if you can jump through an extra hoop here, where you can, it's way too many hoops, but it's just silly.
Oh, I spent so many hours trying to find this, and I had squandered resources in the deck. I'm like, oh, now I can sacrifice the lands to add mana. And then there is a Kozilek Butcher of Truth in the deck, and I'm like, oh, so if you discard creatures with tortured existence, then you can loop the lands back into your deck and then keep getting them for infinite. But then I'm like stuck because I don't want to. You can't make an 8-card combo. There's no point, and we're stuck with not enough creatures in our hand.
I had the payoff too. The guy who says when a swamp enters, you deal 2 or you drain somebody, so you can gain the life back that you'd be losing off a tortured existence.
I know.
There's
something there. I don't think we have the technology. We're like missing a piece.
No, we have the technology. It's just 70 cards.
I'm saying we're missing a piece because we're looking for something more consistent. We're looking for like a 6-card combo.
Yeah, we're going to be reasonable here, right?
Right. So that's going to get all our swamps into play, but there's an extra little bonus win condition if we already have Beru, Fist of Krosa in play, and we have Yavimaya in play. Well, every single one of those swamps is a force. We give our creatures like +10/+10 trample.
Yeah, that'll absolutely just run over players. We already went over our Tarox. If we just do that 3 times, then he's going to be a 32/32. And I don't know if you know this. In Commander, you start at 30, or not 30. You start at 40 life. That's 8. This is 8 lower than the starting life total. You'll probably kill someone. Do it one more time. You're almost guaranteed to kill somebody.
This isn't even that crazy. If you could play Tarox on turn 5, let's say, maybe attack somebody because he has haste. Then if you clone it, you play Tortured Existence, just go discard, 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 kill somebody. I mean, you lose a lot of your hand, but somebody's dead now.
Yeah, I mean, and the main one, the best one, Linessa, is if you can do her 3, 4, 5 times, players are going to have trouble coming back from that. They're bouncing lands, which is going to put them incredibly far behind and remove almost all board state that they have.
Well, it's every activation is -1 artifact ramp, -1 land, -1 creature. They're just going to have nothing.
Exactly.
You want to do it like 5 times, and you literally just KO a player. You lose some resources, but that player's gone. They're not going to do anything for the rest of the game. Then you just move to the next player after you build back up.
Ugh, what really stinks about this combo is it's going to be a miserable one to actually do. If, like, say you don't have an infinite way to do it, and you're just kind of doing it that's 5 times. You don't KO a player, and that's what's so miserable.
Well, you take them right out of the game. They should probably scoop,
but they're not going to scoop. They're forced to sit there and wait.
They might, yeah. I mean, we're here to make Grandeur triggers. I can't control what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying this is not going to be a fun one when you do it.
Not necessarily, but here is a way to get infinite Grandeur triggers. Now, in the original Rune deck, there was a Dramatic Scepter infinite mana combo, and I was like, whoa, that was step 1 to get to the infinite, because the end goal is infinite Grandeurs. That was step 1, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about step 1 of this combo being another infinite combo that can be paid off by anything. So I do have an infinite combo in this deck, and it is similar, but I thought it was at least more deck specific, and it's about the same number of cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Scholar of the Ages or Eternal Witness or Skullwinder, and we're going to pair it with Chromatic Orrery, which filters our mana into any color, and then we're going to use Ghostly Flicker to flicker the Orrery and whatever creature it is. And whatever creature it is gets back the Ghostly Flicker. So we're going to make infinite mana, and then we're going to draw our entire deck, because Orrery now makes infinite mana and then can tap each time to draw at least 1 card. And then once we do that, we just loop our deck forever with Kozilek because we have discard outlets and all this crap, and then we just set up an infinite Grandeur from there.
Yep.
And you can't argue with it. But something had to happen where we're just going to go infinite and wreck people's lives, and this is the one. I like it more because all the cards do something in the deck, and it's more of like a critical mass finisher than I'm going to go tutor for Dramatic Scepter and make you question why I'm even playing Grandeur.
Yeah, exactly. The Dramatic Scepter combo is just 2-card combo that can be paid off with anything, and we were going to force it to be Grandeur, but it's like this is also a combo that can kind of be paid off by anything, to be fair, but the cards do something within the deck.
Right. We made the cards kind of lean towards this, and it's harder to assemble, but cooler, way cooler. I don't really have many stats to compare because I just basically made a new deck out of thin air for this, but the deck costs about $758. Most of that is lands, I'm sure, and it is average mana cost of 3.32, so damn, I'm good. This wasn't so bad, and I think it's definitely going to function. You're definitely getting Grandeur triggers. I can't guarantee a win. But Tyler, I hope you like it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy your deck. It is definitely silly. It's going to be tough to make work, but it's what you wanted. And gosh darn it, we did what you wanted.
This is nonsense incarnate is what this is.
Yes. So that is our video. Special shout-outs to all of our patrons who are scrolling on the screen right now. And this includes, but is not limited to, Tyler, who is on there right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And if you want to support the channel besides Patreon, you can buy cards for yourself and give us residual money that doesn't even come from you if you start with the affiliate link for TCG Player.
You literally spend the same amount of money you were going to spend anyway on those Magic cards, but guess what? Now the nerds get a kickback. Same is true for DragonShield.com, EU and US links in the description below. Go there, buy the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
And you just, guess what? You're supporting the nerds while spending the same money you were going to spend on sleeves anyway. The only place to get their custom sleeves is direct from the website, so you should definitely use our affiliate link to start that. I was having an interesting conversation in Discord today. We have a Discord. If you want to head over to our Discord, there's like 5,000 nitpicking nerd heads. Is that what we call it?
Literally, there's like 5,000.
Yeah, there is. I added everyone the other day, and it said, you're going to be sending us to over 5,000 people. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. But in there, I was having a discussion. He was defending Odrick as not a bad card design, and even sent me his deck, and I can't get past it. It is Odrick, the new one, is just, I can't even... Like, you're allowed to... First thing I want to say, he likes the card, and I think part of it is the community shat on this card so hard when it came out that it made him, like, overcompensate and really, really like it, which is fine. He's allowed to enjoy the card. From a design standpoint, for the life of me, can't think of anything where this applies. This isn't a good limited card. This is not a good constructed format card, such as Standard or Modern or Legacy. This card is absolutely awful in there. So we come to Commander, which is the format we play. He showed me the deck that he was building. You have to play all of these creatures that have no synergy with your deck.
They just have like 2 or 3 keywords, right?
They have 2 or 3 keywords. But when you play Odrick, you get blood. And now after you get blood, you have all these weird payoffs that aren't related to the creatures at all. So all these cards are so removed and stretched away from each other because his ability is so non-centric. And then, because you can't afford to go into a Madness theme or anything, because there's no way to push in a Boros deck or any discard theme, because there's no payoffs in those colors, now you're forced into wanting to care about the artifacts. Mm-hmm. And the artifacts you're caring about are blank pieces of cardboard. The artifact you make is just... Odrick comes in, makes a blood. The blood doesn't matter. It's actually pretty worthless. You just care that it's your artifact count. You have to jump through so many hoops to make this man work, and it just kind of... It sucks that the character got shafted that hard on a card. It is so far removed from anything that is well-designed, in my opinion.
Okay, my turn. I actually disagree a little bit because I think the card is a wet fart design and is one of the most disappointing Magic cards, literally, that I've ever seen in my entire life. But I looked at the deck, and I thought, that is a lot more... than not the person's deck in particular, but I think Commander's Brew, Sean did a deck tech on it, and I was like, that is a lot more than I expected you could do with Odrick, and I was like, that might be a cool budget deck, but that's where I'm at.
A cool budget deck? Yeah, maybe there is a budget spot for him. That might be fair, but I'm talking about, like, our average range.
I'm saying, like, interesting / surprising compared to what the card is, which is a wet fart.
Yeah, I really hate the card, and I just think it's so sad because they had such a good chance to do something.
Like, it's Blade. They turned Odrick, which is already cool, into a vampire. That's even cooler. And
yeah, it's a human it's a vampire that fights for humans still, but he makes blood. I think that's just a flavor fail. I imagine he is a vampire who will do his best to drink as little blood as possible. Like, that seems like it'd be like one of his things. No, he just makes blood all the time. He loves blood.
Sean from Commander's Brew, to end on this, actually brought up a really interesting lore point. Odrick, once he turned into a vampire, stopped caring about Skulk. So it's like, what actually happened? He can no longer skulk around.
You know what? We want to hear your fan theories below on
why is Skulk not on here?
Is that literally the only one he stopped caring about?
I'm sure that was the best one on the original.
That is hilarious that Skulk was just... Is that even a keyword anymore? Is Skulk a keyword in Magic anymore?
Did they remove it?
Let us know. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.